Iburu, Iboya, Ibucheche, everybody in Cyberland. How you doing? Your favorite Baola, Omodum, Dileke, coming at you with a Pataki. But before we go over this Pataki, I want to kind of just lay out some ground rules. So please understand that every one of these old wounds have both positive and negative influences with them. But they also have taboos, characteristics. These Oduns are alive in a spiritual sense. These Oduns walk the earth at a point in time. So the Patakis, when I speak about them, understand that the most important thing that we need to take from them is the aspects, the messages, the characteristics, so that we can better navigate ourselves spiritually as we go through our lives. The Pataki I want to talk to you today about is Ogbe Yekun. Okay? And when I talk about Ogbe Yekun, it's a beautiful sign. All signs have, again, both their good and their bad. But let's jump right into it, because I really want to address this. But you notice I'm trying to handle this with kid gloves because I'm not trying to offend anybody. But we're going to talk about it. Ogbe Yekun talks about the lion and how he became the king of the jungle. The lion was not always brave. No different than if we think about the Wizard of Oz, the cowardly lion. Another reference I like to use is like the Lion King. Remember when Simba was in the elephant graveyard and he was trying to roar at the hyenas, and all he had was his little kitten voice, and he rawr. But his dad came out behind him and gave a giant roar that scared the hell out of those hyenas. That's Ogbe Yekun. But let me explain why. The lion in this Ogbe Yekun was now grown, but still doesn't have the voice that demands authority, the voice that demands fairness and equality. So the lion, being that he felt the way he felt, went to the foot of Ifa and asked the Babalao, what can I do? Everyone thinks I'm inferior. They don't necessarily respect me. So Orula came out, and Ifa came out and marked this sign. The sign was Ogbe Yekun. So they told the lion, go ahead and do the ebo. Special ebo, boom, 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 knocks it out. But then he also had to drink an omiro, a special elixir with herbs and other ingredients. So the lion drinks it. The next thing was, the Babalao says, I now need you to, when it's time for you to use the restroom, use the bathroom, right? I want you to go pee by your house somewhere in the edge, by the entrance somewhere. So when people approach, that's where the pee needs to be. So the lion follows all instructions and does his part. So there was a group of animals that would tease the lion because he was all big, but he was kind of like a big teddy bear, harmless. And they used to mess with him a lot. And he lost a lot of respect out of that. He used to tease him. And the lion wants what anybody else wants: respect. He wants his position in life. He wants the authority to do what is his free will determines, not what people manipulate him to be, because he has a complex. So the lion does what he's told. He pees, he goes to sleep. So a bunch of these animals started to wonder, we didn't see the lion today. What's going on with the lion? So the next morning comes, they go looking for the lion, so they go to his lair. And when they're walking towards his lair, they can smell the pee. And all those guys that went over there for the negative aspect of things, right? To bully him, to just poke at him, to just mess with him. That's what they were going for. They smelt it and they died. That very moment, word spread throughout the jungle that that's what happened. The lion, who had no voice, couldn't even roar, okay, gained the confidence at that moment to say, my enemies have now died. Those who put me down are gone. And he stood in front of all the animals in the jungle and he told them at that very moment, that didn't happen because humans killed you. That didn't happen because something came from the sky and killed them. That happened because of me. And at that very moment, with his confidence, his build, he was then named the king of the jungle. And he let out such a roar that trembled the ground because he gained his confidence. So what's the ethical and moral purpose of this Pataki? That Ogbe Yekun tells us that at times we have that inferiority complex. That we demand that people love us, that we demand things. We get embarrassed easy and we get ashamed easy. We want acceptance from people. We don't necessarily have the moral courage sometimes to do things. That's Ogbe Yekun. So what do you think people that have the sign Ogbe Yekun should do? They need to stand up with their head higher. They need to tell themselves that people's opinions don't matter per se. But you following a strict moral and ethical code of good character is between you and Olofi, you and Olodumare. That's between you and God, right or wrong. But with that, you also understand that Ogbe Yekun can demand authority, which is one of the special things about Ogbe Yekun, is that you can do it. It's just that you're struggling to demand that authority. But when you do, you will also be that king or queen of the jungle. So there you go. Iburu, Iboya, Ibucheche, Cyberland. That's Ogbe Yekun. With that said, please leave a comment. Please hit the like button. Please hit the share button. I'm trying to get as many viewers as I can. Like I told you before, I think our English-speaking community deserves it. Those that struggle with the African and Latino language barriers deserve it. So please like and share. Shoot me a comment. If you have questions, shoot me an email. laregladeifa@gmail. However, there's dots in between. La.regla.de.ifa. With that said, Iburu, Iboya, Ibucheche.